Thousands of wolf dog owners find themselves overwhelmed by their pets' wild behaviors. Rescue facilities like Mission Wolf take in some of these unwanted pets. But there is no way they can keep up with the growing numbers of animals being abandoned. Their urgent mission is to educate the public about the mounting problem of wolf-dog crossbreeding.
Mission Wolf started simply because we took in an unwanted captive wolf, couldn't go back to the wild, and it needed a beautiful home. When we had 52 of them, we had to learn to say no. We've told probably 6,000 people in just the last few years, I'm sorry, I can't take in your pet wolf or wolf dog.
It's really sad for me to see how many wolf dogs are out there in the world with people that don't have a clue how to take care of them.
So it's kind of become my job to let people understand the difference between a wolf and a dog, and also learn that nature does not belong in a cage, it belongs in the woods.
The next day, wolf dog expert Jennifer McCarthy and I head out to our next case, a troubled 4-year-old wolf dog named Ramsey.
My uncle had a wolf hybrid, Ramsey, so that's what intrigued me to the breed. There's a lot of wolf hybrid puppies that are being bred and sold, and the large majority of those puppies are going back into shelters. And so instead of getting a puppy, I decided to rescue an animal that already needed some help. I was very concerned about his behavior and how skittish he was, how scared he was. Initially, I didn't know it was going to be so intense. It took him about 3 months to get accustomed to me. With anybody else, he just really doesn't do well with. When he gets cornered, he freaks out, he gets scared, he defecates, he urinates. So it's just a bad situation all the way around when anybody else has anything to do with him.
Ramses also has a prickly relationship with the original member of Milo's household, unneutered male mastiff, Roscoe.
Initially, Ramsey and Roscoe were getting along fine, but at some point, after 6 months of them actually playing together, it just happened overnight in the spring. This had escalated to a worse level every day for 4 days. Roscoe, at that point, he needed about $1,200 in surgery. That was the period of time when Ramsey started jumping fences. He was roaming the neighborhood, terrorizing chickens. And that's really when he started becoming more of a liability. So I had to build a containment for him.
Milo invested $800 to create a 6-foot-high kennel out of 6-gauge cattle panels cemented into the ground.
My biggest fear with Ramsey is him escaping and somebody shooting him accidentally. There's a lot of livestock, there's a lot of ranches here. So people could be defending their chickens, and I don't want anybody's livestock getting mauled. I think if Ramsey had his way, he would love to roam free anywhere he wants, terrorizing chickens everywhere. But I have to work from 8 to 5, and so he has to have a place where he's going to be safe from others, as well as chickens and everything else is going to be safe from him. I just bought the house 1.5 years ago. It was becoming a liability. Going to work from 8 to 5. I was rushing home sometimes, getting called from animal control. You need to come get your animal.
He's very, very stressed out. The enclosure actually has to be much bigger. And he's got an intact male running around that he doesn't get along with.
In my opinion, it's the same need of being part of a group. You know, so this is his group, but he doesn't know how to coexist with the other dog.
If you can picture it this way, think about it as if you've just taken a tiger from Africa and you're expecting him to be a cat. That's what you're doing.
Okay.
Did you take him every single day somewhere to exercise or to travel or to...
I run with him 12 miles a week, so it's 3 miles 4 times a week.
You've got a great heart for this guy. I mean, you can really tell that. But this is a huge time commitment, okay? Going for a 3-mile run isn't going to cut it.
Yeah.
You said that you were working and training with Arabians.
Yeah, with Arabians next door. Mike and Mary are my neighbors next door. They're giving me 2 Arabian horses, and we've been working on breaking the horses every evening. Mike is teaching me a lot about how to break the horses, lunge the horses.
That's a really great thing that you're doing that's going to help you with Ramsey, because there's some things that you can use even with your lunging.
Okay.
We can teach your wolf how to lunge.
Really?
So there's many things that you can take from your work with Arabians and apply to Ramsey, and it's actually going to get you pretty far.
Oh, right on. I didn't know that.
There you go, me neither.
Yeah.
That's what you get experts.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, let's go.
You guys, I'm going to let Caesar decide where you want to be. You have a great read on energy and body language, so you just go where you feel like you're at a good space. And
This time is an unusual case. It's not about a dog. It's about a wolf dog.
all right, let's do it.
And I have no idea about wolf, so I just observe, you know, so I got to learn as well.
It's really their behavior in telling you how wolf this animal is. There is the German Shepherd there, but to me this animal acts more wolf than anything else.
The sideways right now is the best approach. Same thing with horses. If you notice, you do a lot of side behavior and not so much forward.
You can't really tell if he's going to snap or not snap. And that's why you had to read the body language and work slowly.
So what she's trying to do is to show respect in the way she gradually comes to him. Schedule is something that you should put aside, like remove washes. If you're gonna go and help an animal, make sure you don't have any commitment in an hour or 30 minutes later, because you don't want to leave things halfway there. People who are really there for the animal, everybody agree that it's not how long is it gonna take, is as long as he takes, I'm here for him. You can see a little bit more trusting. There you go. He's trusting the approach.
He looks a little more relaxed.
Yeah, more relaxed. Yeah, that's a
incredible.
step. That's
I
something.
haven't seen anybody do that.
Right. You gotta.
Come in with him like that.
With dogs or with wolf, it works the same way. You know, you gotta take the time to build trust. Nice. You finally recognize her.
Good boy. Oh, it's such a good boy. Yeah. Such a good boy.
The person cannot choose, do I honor the dog in this animal or do I honor the wolf? You have to let the animal tell you. You need to build up his confidence, so I would approach him more submissively to build him back up. It's about looking from the animal's perspective and saying, what's going to make Ramsey the most happy? You see how when I lean down, he relaxes.
So by submitting, you basically take a position lower than him.
Yep, yeah. Same with horses. You can do all this stuff with the Arabians. Another thing that I use when I go in, I do a lot of things to get my heartbeat down, my blood pressure. They can sense that. So what I did when I went in there is just a breathing technique. So,
And a lot of the episodes, I tell people, okay, you have to breathe now, because they're holding the leash, you know, tense. So even when you ride a horse, you can't just be tense riding a horse. It's not healthy, so you gotta breathe, relax yourself. So yeah, I often say calm and assertive. This is more calm.
Okay.
And the assertiveness is knowledge.
so should we go for a walk?
Yeah.
Whenever he's afraid of something, circle, circle, let out that fear. and then go, okay? What you're using right now is really horsemanship.
Seeing Jennifer working with him, just from the get-go, she had his attention, she knew how to behave with him, and so it's very interesting how being calm can really affect the relationship between an animal and a human being.
He can learn to trust you.
Yeah, he is actually walking a lot better, and
Yeah.
it's stranger.
It's very important that we learn to honor the species that we want to live with, you know? So we have to honor the dog. The dog can be a human. In this case, this wolf can be a dog.
Before you take him out for a walk, you spend the time with him,
I got a better understanding of honoring the wolf side of him.
and then you go out for your walk.
I definitely see changes that I'm going to make. I'm going to try my hardest to take the tips that Jennifer and Caesar gave me and try to work with those.
As for the other member of the household, both Caesar and Jennifer advise Milo to neuter Roscoe and keep him separate from Ramsey for the time being.
Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2.
It takes a lot of practice, I understand, but I'm committed to getting it done.
And turn, walk this way. There you go. Perfect. That was awesome.
As far as the time, that's going to be more of the challenge with the 2 hours per day, but I'm going to try my hardest to accommodate that.
This animal is giving us the greatest gift in the world. Got all these cameras on him right now,
Yeah,
and look how relaxed he is right now.
that's true.
We're sitting here with an animal that in the wild wants nothing to do with us. Will he ever be like a wolf running around in Yellowstone and as happy as that? No, he won't be. But Milo's willing to take on the commitment, and I commend him for that, and I think he's going to have a lot of success.
I admire people like Milo, who not only rescue a troubled animal, but are willing to do whatever it takes to bring it back to balance. We can never replace what a life in the wild will offer the wolf in these dogs, but we can do the best that is humanly possible.
Ahead, a wolf-dog hybrid leaves destruction in her wake.
Our next case, an 11-month-old wolf dog named Sophie, is adored by her owners. But as any dog whisperer viewer knows, love isn't always enough to produce a happy, balanced animal.
Growing up as a child, my mom did not allow us to have any pets. So as soon as I moved out into a place where I could have pets, yes, I got a dog immediately. Sophie is my third wolf dog. As soon as we started leaving her alone,
We'll be back later.
that's when we noticed that Sophie was going to be a problem with chewing.
She's pulled things off shelves, papers. She's taken the mouse from the computer. She's also gone through our VCR tapes and tore up a very good collection of tapes.
You never know what Sophie might eat. Everything went in her mouth.
She really got that one.
Sophie just wants to be with us, and she wants to be in the house.
If we leave the door unlocked while she's out there, she has figured out how to open it and get in by herself.
She would take running leaps at the sliding glass door. Running leaps. And the bigger she got, that became a problem because we were afraid she was going to break the door down. So we wanted to cage her in the house.
And what happened was the dog decided she didn't like being in a cage.
First time we left her alone in the cage, she chewed the plastic bottom up and got down to the carpet, and Sophie chewed a huge hole in the carpet.
After we patched it up, she chewed up that patch, tore it up, and made the hole bigger, so we had to put another patch on it.
So we said, okay, well, we'll move the cage to another room where there's laminate floor.
She ate through here and then started lifting this up like this.
So she bent the cage all up trying to get out and moved the cage all over the room. So then we said we will chain her up outside with the collar. She slipped out of the collar and she got out of the yard. Sophie was actually in the dog catcher truck when we found her. So we bought a chain link dog pen, and the first time we left her alone, she actually chewed through the pen. She made a hole, squeezed her way out. I mean, she even cut herself getting out. She had to get out so bad.
trying to get out from that fence, she will make herself bleed. Okay, let's go.
After Sophie repeatedly injured herself in the pen, the frustrated couple decided to electrify the fence.
Let's go. Come on. And once we had gotten that pen electrified, she would sit in the middle of that pen, not wanting to touch it anymore.
She will just sit there in the middle, just sit there. And that's pretty much the condition you find her in when you get back to let her out. I think it's a form of separation anxiety. I think that she likes to be wherever we are.
We're concerned only because when we leave, what happens?
If she tries to get through the glass door and actually does that someday, obviously she's going to get very hurt. If she ever does get out of the yard again, I'm afraid she'll get run over and, you know, if she go to the pound, you know, yeah.
We got this dog for the outside, and she refuses to stay outside.
Is she wolf mix?
Yes, she's
hybrid.
Yeah,
right?
she's supposedly 60% timber wolf.
60%. To me, she behaves very much like a dog. You know, this is the first one that just came and pretty much is around everybody, very calm inside the house.
I don't really believe she's 60%.
Really?
I think
Okay.
she's got a lot of the shepherd in her, actually.
Okay.
Her behavior told me that she was a little bit more dog-like. She was coming up asking for social interactions, which is very much unlike what a wolf would do. The wolf is there, but it's definitely not 60%.
So what do you guys do for exercise?
I take her for a walk for 45 minutes to an hour every night when I get home from work.
If it's separation anxiety the problem, or if it's destructive behavior the problem, I believe that a tired dog destroys less. This is what we're going to do with your energy.
Redirect it.
Right. Because anxiety can come not just from lack of exercise. Anxiety can come from lack of direction. Just tell them what you want, be clear with it, and follow through.
Okay.
Still to come, helping Sophie find balance.
Wolf dog expert Jennifer McCarthy and I come from different backgrounds, but we're learning to work together to help wolf dogs and their owners. Compared to our other cases, 11-month-old Sophie seems a little more dog than wolf. But her extreme levels of anxiety are becoming hazardous to her health and to her owner's sanity. So I saw a treadmill in the back, and it looks dusty, so that means not a lot of people use it.
This enclosure is way too small for her.
And so while Jennifer was teaching about the wolf confinement, I took the initiative of learning how to work the treadmill and at the same time introduce her on the treadmill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of that energy while they're over there.
We had to look at no electric fencing. She already has a reaction to this. You can see she's running and pacing, and this is not going to solve separation anxiety. This is going to create more anxiety. What I would recommend, and I know this is a big commitment, but you guys could split it in half.
Yeah, just right there.
Is doing like 2-hour walks a day, one in the morning, one in the evening. When you introduce her to this new environment, you've got to associate it with a positive thing.
So, but are you kind of suggesting like a doggy door for a while, or?
Yeah, but that would be great for her to have, you know, more
Free access.
freedom.
Now that nervousness that we're seeing is what we're converting into this. The reason why I want to use the treadmill, I mean, obviously it needs some use, is to help her to relax. That's better. That's good.
I do think that there are specific cases that a treadmill is necessary. There's people that have a disability that a treadmill would work perfectly for. This is something that I disagree with because I just don't believe, to me this is so artificial. I say to my clients, if you have 2 legs and you're physically capable of getting around, there's nothing like being in the outdoors with your animal. To me, this animal would get a lot more with them by being out and traveling outside, you know?
This is optional, not a must.
Right.
Would I rather buy 50 treadmills that walk 50 dogs on the mountains? No. Of course, it's very unnatural, you know? Just like a leash is very unnatural, just like a backpack is very unnatural. But if you can use it to help a dog to drain the energy from the body and the energy from the mind, meaning you're challenging them, you in a way are touching the soul.
I guess if it's raining outside, it's be a good alternative.
I'd rather leave people with many choices, so this way it's no excuse. What is a must is fulfillment.
Caesar and I do disagree on some different things, but I have great respect for him, and hopefully he'll have great respect for me, and we can both learn from each other.
Come on, come on. The way Mr. Charlie, Miss Janice was inviting Sophie in there is tension, then let me trap you. No animals want to go in there. I don't care if you put a filet mignon and you have a chef inside there. They don't care. It's just the way they went in that they're going to associate with a negative.
Caesar and Jennifer both agree that Charlie and Jenna should completely dispose of the cramped, electrified backyard pen and replace it with a more appropriate enclosure.
Okay.
No.
But first, Caesar wants to help Sophie resolve the fear and anxiety that the pen has created.
This anxiety was created by a human who's in a rush. A human who is like forcing a dog to go in a certain situation and not taking the time to calm the mind down.
Come on, Sophie.
There you go. Wolf or no wolf, animals pick up on energy, you know, regardless of the species. And then I invite out.
Oh.
And then I invite in. There you go.
She went in that though.
You see what I mean? So she pretty much is learning to follow and trust our direction.
Taking Sophie back to the pen before they removed it was a great idea. She's facing the fear, getting over it, and moving on to the next thing before they remove it.
When we use trapping mentality, they have no choice just to escape.
When we were in a pen and the door was open, I was surprised that the dog did not come rushing out. The dog just calmly stayed in the pen.
Make sure you make time to convince the dog that it's about that time to relax even more. There you go.
When I was taking Sophie into the pen, when everything was calm and she was calm, it was so much more pleasant, and I didn't feel so bad.
So now that you are calm going in, she sees it in a different light, in a different state of mind.
I knew that it was what we were doing, how we were acting, our energy, what we're projecting, but that's what I wanted, for him to tell us what we could do better.
It's okay. It's okay.
I like that adjustment that you just did. That was good.
We were very concerned about the destructiveness, and Caesar made it easy for us to understand on why it's occurring and how to stop that behavior. Good girl.
And I think Caesar teaching them exactly what being calm is all about is very crucial and very important. Sophie is so young, so she's highly impressionable. Now they have the information and the knowledge to take it in a different direction.
The fact that we've caught it as early as possible gives me a lot of hope. And so hopefully we'll have less trouble, less of her getting in trouble, less of Sophie doing things she's not supposed to do.
Thank you so much for opening your house.
Thank you.
Now, instead of seeing the wheels are turning in the wolf mind, as the humans' wheels are turning, now they're seeing how can we create what we want. It's not the dog have to learn. What do we have to learn to create what we want? That is wheels turning.
Working with Caesar in Los Angeles brought about a huge dichotomy because he was coming from the dog perspective and I was coming from the wolf perspective. And we were both there to honor each side of the animal. But how do you honor something that's mixed up? Where does that leave us with this wolf dog? It leaves an animal that's highly confused. They don't know if they should be acting on their wild instincts or on their domestic instincts. And so that brings about the bigger message: don't mix these two animals. Plain and simple.
When you breed a wild wolf with a domesticated dog, you're probably not going to get the best of both worlds. Instead, you may end up with an animal with a powerful prey drive, but no natural fear or shyness. You may also be dooming a beautiful, free creature to a lifestyle that was never meant to live. These cases remind me what my grandfather used to say: always work with Mother Nature, never against her. Thank you for joining us for this special episode of Dog Whisperer.